Hi Sweet Peas, it's Shaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another Thursday video. Before I start, I have two requests. Number one, please do not click off until the end of the video. You may have been sent this because someone wants you to understand something. It's not a very long video, and regardless of your opinion on society, if you think that gays are taking over the world, or that everyone's getting way too offended by everything these days, or alternatively, if you've attended every single Pride event, just wait until the end of the video and try to understand it before we formulate any opinions. Secondly, this is a safe space. This, my little bubble of the internet, is a safe space. And I want you to know that it is okay to not know something. You don't know what LGBT is? That's fine. You don't know what being gay means? That's fine. If you have any questions, no matter how silly you think they are, please don't be afraid to ask them. Pop it in a comment, be respectful, and create a meaningful discussion that can help everyone understand. Now, I don't do many LGBT plus videos on my channel, but we're gonna take this one back to basics, right back, because I feel like there's been a lot of LGBT plus drama, a lot of negativity in the air, and most people are discussing some really complex situations and scenarios. But I would like this video to cover the underlying concept of what LGBT plus does mean and doesn't mean. So let's dive right in. LGBT is an acronym. That means that every single letter stands for a different word. It's also sometimes referred to as LGBTQ, LGBTQIA, LGBT+, LGBTQ+, and all of those different variations within. It's fundamentally the same community. People have added different letters onto it and choose to use some versions with the added letters because each of the letters represent an identity, and there are more identities that are now more widely recognized. Today we're going to stick to the main four, LGBT. One of the best ways to think about something is in terms of opposites. You know what up is because you know it's not down. You know what left is because you know it's not right. So firstly, I'm going to describe the term straight. Most people in this world are straight, and what that means is that they are attracted to the opposite gender. So if you're a straight woman, that means you're a woman attracted to a man. And if you're a straight man, that means you're a man attracted to a woman. Last year, about 24 in every 25 people, so the vast majority, identify as straight. And that means 1 in every 25 identify as not straight, which is most commonly the L, G, or B. So what do those letters actually mean? The L stands for lesbian and the G stands for gay. Lesbian is a term used to describe women attracted to other women and not to men. If you are a woman and you find another woman pretty, that doesn't make you a lesbian. And that's because finding someone good looking and being attracted to someone is not the same thing. For example, I think my sisters are good looking, but I am not attracted to them. At the same time, I think my fiance Jamie is good looking and I am attracted to him. I would pursue a deeper connection, be it sexual or romantic, with someone that I am attracted to. So lesbians are women attracted to other women. The term gay is often used to describe men attracted to other men and not women. So lesbians are women attracted to other women, gay people are men attracted to other men. Sometimes the term gay is used to describe women attracted to other women as well, so it can mean the same thing as lesbian. So women attracted to other women will say, I'm gay. But gay men don't really refer to themselves as lesbians often refer to themselves as gay. Hope that makes sense. So that is the L and the G. The B stands for bisexual, and bisexual means you're attracted to more than one gender. Most commonly, it means you're attracted to both men and women. I'm bisexual. That means I'm attracted to both men and women. Just because bisexual people are attracted to more than one gender does not mean that they're looking for a new partner all the time, and it doesn't mean that they're gonna cheat on you. Think about it this way. If you're a straight woman, which means you're a woman attracted to men, you don't fancy every single man that you happen to lay eyes on or meet. Similarly, bisexual people are not attracted to every single person that they meet. It just means that when they are looking for sex or romantic relations, they'd be open to experiencing these things with more than one gender. So I keep using the term attracted to. That's because the L, G, and B, lesbian, gay, and bisexual, all refer to something called sexual attraction. And it's called sexual attraction because it describes who you are sexually attracted to. Now the T is a little bit different. The T stands for transgender, and it doesn't refer to a sexual attraction, it refers to your gender identity. I'm just going to explain the difference between those two terms really quickly. Sexual attraction refers to other people. It's who you are attracted to. This could be one gender, multiple genders, or no gender at all that you are attracted to. But your gender identity doesn't involve anyone else at all. Gender identity refers to who you are in here and in here. Gender identity is how you identify in terms of your gender. Sexual attraction is who you're attracted to. Gender identity is who you are. Now, for most of us, our gender identity is very straightforward. We identify in here with the gender our bodies reflect. To put it very bluntly, if your body has female genitalia and you're raised as a female, you're more than likely to identify as a female. Similarly, if your body has male genitalia and you're raised male, you're more likely to identify as male. For most of us, we don't even have to think about it. We just know. It's not something that we question. If you had a form where you had to fill it in and you do your name and your age and it has a box that says, are you a boy or girl or other, it would be instinctual which box you would tick. You would just know. But for a small section of people, about 1% of the population, based on last year's figures, the bodies they were born in do not match their gender identity. They may grow up looking like they're female, but in their mind and in their soul, they know that they are male. Just like in my mind and my soul, I know that I am female. Similarly, someone might look like they have a more male body, but in their mind and their soul, they know that they are female. This is called being binary transgender, like transitioning across gender. And for people who are binary transgender, their mind always stays the same. They know what they are, but their body and the way they present to the world switches from one to the other. Male to female or female to male. So Jamie, for example, was born in a female body, but he knew that he was male. That doesn't mean that at every opportunity he said, I'm a boy, and it doesn't mean that when he was younger, he didn't sometimes do things that were a bit more feminine, but when he found the words to explain the mismatch and the courage to tell people, that's when he asked the world to look at him as the male that he is and not the female that his body looked like. And that makes him a female to male transgender person. Sometimes people don't feel exactly one gender or the other. They don't feel all the way male or all the way female. They feel something in between or nothing at all. This would make that person non-binary transgender. So binary is from one to the other, but non-binary people go from representing as the one gender they were born as to something else in between. So for both binary transgender people, which are people who identify as male or female, which is different to how their body looked before, and for non-binary transgender people, so people who don't identify as exactly male or exactly female, are considered to be transgender. That's an umbrella term that fits both groups of people inside. Sometimes transgender people take hormones to make them look more like the gender they identify as. Their voice could change, they could have more or less body hair, and sometimes transgender people undertake surgery. But sometimes there is absolutely no physical change. They don't take medication and they don't have surgery. And their transition is simply social, and they simply change their names and the pronouns that they use. For example, being called he, she, or they. The important thing is no matter what journey a person is on, to just respect their identity. In fact, that's the important thing to remember about all people, whether they're LGBT or not. Respect their identity and remember that some aspects of your identity, like being LGBT, is not a choice. It's just who you are. Just like we know that we are human beings. You may know that you are a man attracted to women. I know that I am a brown woman attracted to both men and women. People know who they are attracted to and what their gender identity is. It's not something they choose, it's something they are. Another important thing to remember is that it takes different amounts of time for different people to realize their identity or have enough courage to actually tell people. Sometimes by the time they're ready, people have grown up a lot. They could be in their 70s. They could have already had a family. And then they realize that their gender identity or sexual orientation is different. This is absolutely okay. We need to recognize and respect that it's really difficult. And not everyone is exposed to this information from a really young age or feel like they're in a safe enough environment to come out and tell people who they really are and how they identify. The final thing I wanted to talk to you about is the difference between gender identity and gender expression. When people say that all boys like the colour blue and like to play football and all girls like the colour pink and like to play with Barbie dolls, that's not true. These are stereotypes known as gendered expressions, And there might be an element of truth into how it fits most people. Most boys might like football, whereas most girls might not like football. But it's not a hard and fast rule. It doesn't mean that if you like football, you are a boy. And it doesn't mean that if you don't like football, you're not a boy. You could be a girl who likes football. You could be a non-binary person who likes football. If your child is a girl and they like football, it doesn't mean that they're going to grow up and transition to be a boy. In the same way, just because somebody might like to wear dresses or wear makeup, it doesn't make them a girl. A man can wear a dress. It's seen as a feminine expression because for the most part, girls like wearing dresses and not really boys. But it doesn't make that man female. It just means that that man likes to express in a more feminine way. Gender identity is in here and in here. If you're trying to look at someone and work out their gender identity, you can't always see it. It's what people tell you that they are. What you can see is gender expression. It's the way that people express themselves, which is often labelled as being feminine or masculine, and it's what you see from the outside, the gender expression, not the gender identity. And sexual orientation, who you are attracted to, is very different from gender identity and gender expression. It may seem confusing initially, and it sounds like they're similar because they all have terms like male and female and divide between genders, but they are fundamentally different things. You could have a lesbian that wears very masculine clothing. Their sexual orientation is gay or being a lesbian. Their gender expression may be very male typical or masculine, but their gender identity is female, and they are sexually attracted to other females. You could have a transgender man who likes to wear dresses and makeup. They are still a man. Their gender identity is being a man. And the fact that they like to wear dresses or makeup means that they like to express themselves femininely. That transgender man may identify as straight, and that means that as a man, they are attracted to women. Straight people are attracted to the opposite gender. You could have a trans woman who's attracted to only women. This person is transgender and their gender identity is female because they're a trans woman. And as a woman attracted to other women, only other women, that makes them a lesbian or gay. And that means that as a transgender woman who's also a lesbian, they are both the L and the T in LGBT. I know it's a lot of information, but the most important thing is to be respectful. Someone else's identity does not hurt anyone, including yourself. And it only takes a tiny amount of decency to be kind to them and to support them and to ask them questions respectfully if you don't understand something. It is no skin off your nose at all as to how someone else identifies, but to that person it could be a matter of life and death to be able to express who they really are. And think about how difficult it must be for them, so don't add on to that pressure by being mean or horrible to them. And just respect your fellow humans. No one expects you to get it all straight away, but doing your best and making an effort to understand really goes a long way. So there you have it. I hope this has helped you understand what LGBT means and the difference between sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression, because they're very different things. Thank you for watching, be kind, and have a great day.